How many of you have completed the reading of the introduction and the procedure? How many of you need a couple more minutes just to get through that? Because you need it. If you don't know what we're doing, it gets really embarrassing, so please do know what we're doing. I'll give you some time. Show me you're done by putting the paper on your head. That way we don't distract the kids that are still reading. Keep it quiet for kids that gotta read.
Why did this?
You'll see. I hate to make you read in class, I rarely do. This is how you show me you're done. Claire, did you already wash your hands?
No.
Would you please? Catch. Catch.
How old is this? Pretty good.
Listen carefully, please. Second request. Thanks. At my house, if I've got to tell my kids 3 times, it's no book tonight.
That's serious.
Place that ocean full of M&Ms at the middle desk so that all 3 people can reach it with the straw. What are you going to do with that straw? Suction M&Ms, that's right. If you're chewing gum, you might want to wrap it in the cover of your straw. Unsheathe your straws now. Sticker, sticker. He said unsheathe your straw. Take the lid off your ocean. Clear your desk of other riffraff, because you're going to be leaning over. This is a timed, competitive activity. Make sure your straw can suction from the ocean in its current location. You may not use your hands to touch the M&Ms. You may use your hand to hold the straw. Wait, what? I got a thought. Second request. No book tonight, Akila. Now, you don't use your hand for the M&M. You can use your hand to aim the straw. You can use both hands to aim the straw. Once you get the M&M out of the ocean, you want to keep it in your own little pile because one person goes at your table. Will be making like this a little chart. Me. Okay, if you're getting paid to talk, talk now. So, do like this, where by season, each person's catch and the sum for the whole group. That's one person's job. And then, one other person at your table group we'll make a little chart of that information with the group total by season. Please look up. You don't need to talk about this. Just silently point. Watch. This is what I mean by using a whole sheet of paper. Some kid in first period was like, well, I used the whole sheet, I just only drew that. And I was like, oh, yeah, but okay. Please make a large. Please fill the whole paper graph. On your marks. Get set. No. You don't get to change the rules. The rules are the pattern. My dad's a teacher. I'll fight you right now. Don't drool down the straw into the tub. Please, it's really gross. On your marks? Get set? No cheating. No cheating. He cheated. We cheated. He cheated. Everybody look. Look. We've identified our first cheater. The reason we do this activity is to figure out who we're going to throw stones at later on.
Perfect. No.
We've identified our stoning victim. Scumbag, put the M&M back.
I just want to see what's possible.
The tension is palpable. You dorks, it's just school. Relax. Go. Yeah, I know. I don't see how we cited the eclipse, but I do know that all the Atlantic salmon got out, which is one of the things that was in the unit about farming salmon. Babies, the reason you washed your hands is because you're going to top off their oceans with double what they have to a maximum of 20. If they have 8, you double that to 16. If they have 15, you can't double that because the maximum is 20. So you double it up to 20. 15 goes to 20, 17 goes to 20, 10 goes to 20, 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 4, 0 stays 0. Okay. Got it? We're breeding fish, we're doubling what they have, carrying capacity is 20. And stop! Stop! Stop fishing. Now, I'm assuming everybody here has had the talk, right? There's like birds and bees. I actually don't know how to do that. When I talk to my children, I just said it. But I guess there's birds and bees or something. Like they already know about birds and they know about bees, so I just had to talk about like body parts. But you've had to talk. My TAs will be the hand of God to help your fish in the ocean reproduce according to the rules that you read. While you record your data and prepare for the next season. Ready, set, TAs, you've got 2 bags of M&Ms, go please.
What if we don't have any fish left?
Oh, then I don't think you've had to talk. Do you know how it works?
Like our strategic we don't share. We're just going to rationalize.
You need a bird or you need a bee or something, right? Yeah. I mean, back at 20. See ya. Oh my God. Children. Me. I'm sure you all understand because you read the rules that, of course, fishermen need to eat. So it's going to be a really sad season 2. Because some of you got no fish to eat in season 2. All right, Marcus, say go!
I mean,
Go, fish! Go, but you can't.
Look, I smoked my fish. I got seasons of fish here.
There's 20 up.
I think we're good.
All of these?
Well, I mean, if
Yes.
it's an ocean, I mean, fish will come back.
Stop! 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 No more fishing for you. Season 2 is over, and I'd like to observe a moment of silence for the following fishermen who couldn't find any fish in season 2. Please raise your hand if you are fishing in the hereafter. A little moment of silence.
Did you get scored?
Yeah.
May you fish with the Jesus.
I should just change my profession.
Everybody else, here comes Claire Baker to help you restock your oceans as the hand of God.
God is one that
You may have some data to record. Maybe you've got to write a lot of zeros, but keep track. Zeros, yes.
So what now?
If you got nothing, you still got to write the zeros.
So in the meantime, figure out agriculture. I also have a lot of water.
Claire, are we there yet?
Rob me for my
What do you got?
do my job. I got Will back.
How many? Ready, Marcus, go! Go! This season's going to be even shorter. I'm going to end the season in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second. It's over. It's over. Here comes Claire. Record your data. Get ready. Zach, can you help me along? You can fill these in. Claire, you take the left side of the class. Zach, take the right side, please. Thank you. Good. Why did somebody take out my bucket toilet?
I had an 82 in the class.
It's a little heavier. Are we there? Claire, Zach, are we done?
Basically.
On your mark. And get set. Go! This is a discipline. Yeah. And stop. I see that either you're dead or you figured it out. Here comes my TAs to fill up your oceans for the last time. That's right, because the following season is the last season. Make all decisions as if you are considering the no future generations.
I got, if there's a team in there,
Yeah, I'm doing agriculture.
Make sure your graph is done. I want a line graph, not a bar graph. Make sure your graph is done or ready to be done. Are we ready, Claire? On your mark, get set, go! Finish that graph. Go! This is the last season.
We throw the chicken food in here, and we leave all the fresh that's
This is the final season. And done. Done. Stop now. Stop now. Record your data, make your graph. Record your data, make your graph. You want those? You want these? You want those? Finish the graph! Finish the graph! You want these? Yeah. Taking the test. Yes.
I don't want the other.
You want me to fill these now too, or no?
If you have junk M&Ms to feed my chickens, raise your hand, Zach will come collect them.
Were you supposed to eat these, or are they like...
All the junk M&Ms go to my chickens. I need those graphs now. Here I come. Graph, 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 graph. Give me the graph. Graph, 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 graph. Graph, 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 graph. Give me the graph. Graph, 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 graph.
Feeding your chicken.
Graph, 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 graph. Graph. Graph, graph, got him, 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 got him. Okay, so everybody's done, right?
To fertilize my plants. So now I got more food than all of you.
All right. I know that was candy cane, super candy cane. I get it. 20 each, holds on, and you guys can kick back. I know. It's super easy, right? Like, oh, dude, totally stupid class. This activity is like 3rd, 4th grade level with a little assistance, probably younger. But I swear I'm going somewhere. It gets good, I promise. Right at the very end, so I hope we can stay focused that long. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Nobody wants this to be a waste of time. Neither me nor you. So bear with me. Participate, pitch in, it gets good. Oh. Which one is Lily? There's 2 of them. Not the sum across seasons, but how much you got per season. Can we get through the basics so that we're all on the same tip before we get to the really good stuff, watch. Your data falls into a few predictable categories. The most common, as usually is the most common, is the, oh man, there's a lot of fish around here, oh crap. Oh man, there's a lot of fish around here, oh crap. Oh man, there's a lot of fish, oh crap. Hey guys, we're on fish go. I thought there was good fishing around. Wait, I thought there was lots of fish here. We call these collapsed fisheries. You could say that this is a credible metaphor for many of our global resources. Like, oh my God, there are so many passenger pigeons. Except they're not anymore. Or there's bison from end to end of the horizon, but no. Or whatever. Abalones on the East Beach. You used to go pick up abalones on East Beach with a wheelbarrow in the tide pools.
Oh, I think it was one of those.
Or like a sea otter thing. You've heard all these, right?
No.
Lovely children's. If the graph has become a distraction, I don't need it anymore. Forget about it. There's even another possibility. Like, well, we had 2 good years and then life sucks. Then there's somebody who's like, oh, wait, that was pretty close to 0. Hold on a minute. And when you see this shape, you can pretty much assume that, like, oh, well, we only got 3 left, so it's going to make 6, and then all we get is 3, and then it's going to make 6, and all we get is 3, or something like that. 4, or like, just by the skin of our teeth, we didn't die, but we just can't have any more a lot of fish days. See what I'm saying? This is like a barely limping along resource. Okay, I see those every year. Then this one is kind of a classic. Like, oh, wait, I got this. If we just kick back for a little while, then we're going to get a lot of fish in there, and then we can just slay them. So you take what's called a sacrifice season or a rest season to recover your stocks. Globally, this kind of happens. Like in our own channel, there's a few fisheries where we decided, like, whoa. No more cow cod, but 50 years from now, we'll be able to kill them. And there's always somebody. I see right through this. I'm good at math. We all agree. Mutually agreed upon coercion. What these guys do? What they figure out? Who is this? All right, smart guys, tell me, what'd you figure out?
You have to take like half of the fish so that they can always reproduce to the same, like the holding capacity.
Why half?
Because the capacity is 20, so if you take 10, then you get 10 next year, and that's at capacity.
What do you mean at capacity? What would happen if I took 11?
Then you can only get 9, which means only 9 of your fish are going to reproduce instead of all 11.
So when 9 reproduce, see year number 2, I get how many in the ocean total? 9 reproduces to 18. I can take 11 again. I can do 11 2 years in a row. Are you sure that's a mistake?
You could take more, but if this was like actual in real life, not all mature fish would reproduce. So eventually you'd have one bad year, and then you'd be screwing yourself.
Safe to say that in the real world, there's a whole bunch of ways to screw ourselves and all kinds of complications we didn't include in this model, but I just want to do the math really quick. If we start with 20 and I take 3, the remaining 17 populate to the maximum of 20. I can do that forever. 3 out of 20 leaves 17, comes up to 20, so I can take 3, comes up to 20, so I can take 3, you can do 3 forever. I can do 5 forever. I can even do 10 forever, because 20 minus 10 leaves 10, which doubles to 20, and then I can repeat that over and over. But if I take 11 out of those 20, follow the math, okay? You said you read the rules, so I'm just going to assume that you know what I'm saying. 20 minus 11 leaves 9, doubles to 18 at the start of season number 2. I can take 11 from the 18, which leaves 7, which doubles to 14 at the start of season 3. 14 minus 11 leaves 3, which doubles to 6. Can I take 11 at the start of season 4? That's the point. That 10 is the maximum sustainable yield. The more you can take over and over again. That's what sustainable means, something you do over and over again. How many of you realized that after you had started fishing? Like you came to that later in this event? And at this point, now that I've explained it, is it safe to say that we're all comfortable with this math, that we all understand why 10 is the maximum sustainable yield? I don't want to single anybody out with the math skill, but I'm just going to assume that you're basically with me on this. I want everybody to drag their feet through the easy stuff so we can get to the neat stuff. Pitch in, let's not waste our time on the little candy cane questions, but it's your turn to say something. Which other resources in the real world does this make you think of? The M&M thing is kind of like the drinking water thing, or the lumber, yeah, there's all these trees, and like, oh, we're out of trees, dang it. What else? Come on, this part's not supposed to be the hard part, let's not waste time on it. Yes?
Gas.
Yeah, or fossil fuels in general. Yeah, was it the actual fish thing? That was obvious, but thanks for taking it. Good, yeah, no, it's good, yeah. Like I said already, the abalone thing, the buffalo thing, are we cool? Can we move on from that one? What human behaviors are reflected in this metaphoric activity? This is kind of like when people in the real world, human behaviors, like greed. Okay, that is a human behavior perhaps.
I was going to say self-interest.
Okay, self-interest, kind of different from greed, but I see that I like that one better. But anyway, yeah.
The tragedy of the economy.
Ooh. Oh, that I'll see you block day next week.
Taking more than you need.
Okay. Silly, but it's so much fun to fish. I do it all the time. What else? Yeah.
Lack of foresight.
Lack of foresight. Can we discuss what human behavior we saw here?
Foresight.
Hey. Foresight, and then what? What'd you all do about that? Like, I see where this is going, but I'm not going to talk to her. She's new.
Lack of communication.
What?
Lack of communication.
Yeah, a lot of people maybe saw what was going on, but didn't do anything. And instead of that, y'all seem to.
We both.
Was that a coincidence, or did you guys actually like agree?
No, we talked about
Yeah, yeah. You know what that's called? Mutually agreed upon coercion. Like, hey, we should probably, you're going to keep me to this, right? I want to keep you to this. Mutually agreed upon coercion. So they like govern that resource, which is kind of interesting. Because most of us, it's like, no, dude. So I see a lot of things that we could do to connect this to the real world, but I've got bigger things to talk about, so I want to rush you along, please. I want all of you to decide, make up your mind. I want all of you to know in advance, and then I'm going to ask you, is sustainability possible today, real world Earth? Just have an opinion. But choose, yes or no. And then, why do you say that? Squeeze it into 15 seconds, so get ready. Imagine in your head that you're going to give me the explanation. I'll give you the 15 seconds. Is sustainability possible, yes or no? Okay, and why? Look at my hands. Got it? Who says yes? Sustainability is possible. Oh my God. Okay, thank God. Go, go.
Like, I think that it is possible, like, if we really worked at it, but, like, I don't know. I just think that it is, because I believe in humans, and I think they can make the right
Fine.
decision eventually.
Who else? That's it? Yes, go.
I think it is yes, because I do believe in humans as well, and hopefully one day we can try to turn things around and okay.
Who else?
I think yes, because even though we've exhausted most of our resources, or will in the future, we know a lot now.
Good. Who says no? Why?
Because there's too many people in the world to get them all to agree on a system that would be sustainable.
Didn't take long. Go.
The resources aren't growing, the people are growing, we're still growing exponentially, I believe.
Holy crap, that was 2 big words. What else? Yes?
There's too many random factors that we can't control that could negatively influence it.
Yes. What else?
Capitalism requires constant growth.
Okay. Who else? So, remember I told you that this was kind of candy cane until we get to some big stuff? Now, like, let's talk about dying. Some of you mentioned the population thing. I think that's kind of interesting. In this activity with the M&Ms, there was one characteristic that nobody's highlighted yet, which might not be realistic. It came up in the story of stuff that you saw Wednesday. That maybe something about this sharing of M&Ms around your group of 3 may not actually be realistic. Does anybody know what I'm digging for? Yeah?
Is it population growth along with consumption growth?
Yeah, that might actually be something, right? That we didn't really include in this model. Do you all agree, first of all, that we'd like to find the M&M formula for sustainability on the planet?
Yes.
And then you all agree that it's probably a little more complicated than 20 minus 10 times 2?
Yes.
Okay. So you realize we would all like to have that formula that's in everyone's interest. Poor rich black white, like it's kind of good if we can just keep going with whatever we're doing. Nobody wants to die tomorrow. So sustainability, yeah, that's a, and then like figuring out that formula, well that's a lot of variables, including chaos and acts of God and things we can't figure out and all that. But I want to actually, even if we could figure out the sustainability formula, which is many people would argue the goal of environmental science, I'm not sure that I agree with that goal. Some people say that that's why we do this. I got a different question for you. What happens if a 4th person shows up at your table? Are you good to go with that same maximum sustainable yield? You've got 20 M&Ms, 10 was the maximum. Can we do that 4 ways? Can we?
No.
You take 2, you take 3, I take 2, you take 3. We can do 10. 4 can do the 10. What about a group of 5? Could a group of 5 survive with this M&M rules?
Yes.
Because you only need 1 M&M per person. What about a group of 11?
No.
So then what?
Someone goes hungry. People
What?
Someone goes hungry.
Yeah, and then what?
They die.
Manufacturer
Yeah, right, so all we gotta do is let the people starve, and it's cool, bro. Does that feel awkward for anybody else? Because I feel kind of dirty. I feel like washing my mouth.
So
yeah?
Wouldn't the population continue to like grow exponentially until you run out of all your food? And then it would just drop off really suddenly, right?
That's the way it works in simple systems, like bacteria and agar ditches and stuff, absolutely. Goldfish in the pond. How do we solve that problem if we've got 11 people standing around looking at the M&Ms? What are the possible solutions? There's more than a single solution, so remember that I'm going to dig for more than one. What's one option?
You export fish to a lake where you breed them there specifically for eating.
Okay, I want to do one thing really quick. Whenever I ask this question, we can divide all of humanity into two groups. The ones who try to weasel out of the rules. We talked about this. So what's the other set of solutions? If we're going to just accept the rules. Yeah?
One would be overconsume, or the other would be there's a number efficient.
One of them would be to overconsume, so we all starve in 3 or 4 years. Correct? And it looks good for a while until it sucks. The other option is what?
You lose one of your fishermen.
How exactly would we lose that fisherman?
They would starve.
How would they starve? They still have a straw and access to the M&Ms.
We would have to force them so they weren't able to get any.
We gotta kill somebody. Just say it. Come on. Trying to be nice about this. Once we get to that point of the population being too big to do the sustainability formula, it's like, well, change the rules, change the rules, change the rules, change the rules. Eat the straw. Get the Skittles. Come on, bro. We got this. And if we can't change those rules, I mean, some rules are pretty darn fixed. Then either we all die in a little while, or we just pick somebody now. I vote redheads. I got some friends in Charlottesville that had some ideas about who we could pick. Yeah, we could kill all the Nazis. Who do you think my friends are in Charlottesville? But that's kind of a grim reality. Like, ooh, if there's too many, damn. The population keeps growing. The rules don't seem to be changing that often. So even if we don't have 11, people keep having babies, so pretty soon we're going to have 11. In that scenario, do we still talk about selfish? If we got 11, looking at the, if we have 11 looking at this, is selfishness still a part of this conversation? Like, who's selfish? Who's greedy? How many of you believe that human nature is fundamentally greedy or selfish? It's a common belief. Part of me is right there with you. I sometimes think that people are all fundamentally greedy or selfish, which is really frustrating because when you teach environmental science, you got to look at all these hopeful, beautiful young people with promising futures and say, nah, you know, it's going to suck. Well, they are. They're going to die. It's bad, especially the teachers. I want to throw something else out there, right? Like, oh, you don't want to be the greedy one? Go ahead. Now what? Like, what if you go home and mommy and daddy like gave away the house to people who need it more? You're like, Mom, what are you doing, Mom? And she's like, nah, we had a good run. I found this lady and she said she needed a place, and I was like, you know, we really didn't need that house, so get in there, Anna, we're all right. You go, Mom, I just want to have some cereal. What are you doing? And you're like, nope, nope. Sorry, kid. I sent the Cheerios to the Sudan because I didn't want to be selfish, says your mom.
Now you're starving.
Yeah, you're like, Mom, you suck at mom, right? Like, I don't want to be selfish. I like to be a nice guy and everything, I guess, if I have to, when people are looking. I want to be a nice guy at least some of the time. But keep in mind, I got these 2 ugly babies to feed. What kind of a mom or dad do you want to be? I'll tell you what kind of mom and dad I'm going to be. You seem like a nice kid and everything, but I'll strangle you with that plastic straw before I give up my M&M. I got mouths to feed, right? And tell me that doesn't make me sound like a good dad. Go ahead. Tell me you don't want your dad to do that for you. See, it's always selfish when it's somebody else, because it's like, oh, you got more than me, you're selfish, I hate you. Your life is easy. But like when the tables are turned and you're trying to take care of your kids, like I'll kill all y'all before I don't need an M&M. I already decided, like it's over. Like it's just execution now. I got 2 meat mallets. I'm ready. I don't care. Right? You can call me whatever you want. I'm selfish. I'm greedy. Whatever. My kids are gonna eat. And you got like 3 billion dads and 3 billion moms walking around this earth right now who all made that same decision. Plus a few kids who know they're going to make that decision when they get there, right? See, I gotta do this thing. There's like, I told you I do this for a reason, because there's a part of this conversation that we don't have at the 3rd or 4th grade level. Like, I don't want to hear anybody say that people are selfish or greedy, because of course that exists. I know. But like none of us wants to be like starving child of a selfless parent. And so yeah, I know that greed is real. I'm not disputing that. I mean to say we don't even need that in the conversation. You can remove that judgment from your worldview and still we've got the same difficult decision. Imagine that nobody is selfish and greedy. They're just trying to do what's best for their kids, man. It's like, as they see it, this is the best I can do. And what, you're going to talk them down from feeding their kids? Like, okay, maybe you don't need quite that many houses to feed your kid. But it's a trip, right? Like, what if there are just too many people for the resources and everybody wants to be a good person, which means maybe being a bad citizen for a minute there. I haven't actually planned to murder any of you, because we're cool, because we all got enough food for now. I said for now. Isn't that a trip? Like we're all like, yeah, we're good, just while we're all eating. It's fine. Like, can you imagine if like Gilligan's Island ran out of coconuts? And they're all nice to each other. They're like, oh, this is such a nice island, as long as you don't have any babies, because you know the food runs out. I'm gonna eat you. Isn't that a crazy thought? It's so easy to have this conversation when we can all like point fingers and be like, he's selfish, that guy right there, you bro, you're greedy. Yeah. Not me, I'm a nice guy. But I don't know, I gotta challenge that assumption. I gotta reconsider that. I want to point out, first of all, that there's 3 bullets at the bottom of your paper. Those are the quote-unquote post-lab questions that are due next Monday. We've pretty much talked about all of it. So I just need you to have some referential notes, either on that handout or on another sheet of paper. Mostly it's to show you how work gets handled starting Monday. Second of all, I want to take away a couple things from this. We probably should all try to figure out how to make the M&Ms last the longest so we can put off killing somebody. Something to take away from this is maybe this population thing is actually an important variable, maybe not, I don't know. And I want to highlight that what we might sometimes call selfish or greedy behavior might also be considered rational or human behavior, humane behavior. Okay, I have actually threatened your lives today, so you probably want to step back from that a little bit. What do y'all think about this? We got a couple minutes left, so I'm kind of curious. Most of my period, the bell already rang, so somehow we made it, I think because of the lovely nutrition moment. And I had 2 TAs who did a great job today. Thank you, TAs. Yeah.
Do you think we can make it?
Well, my friend Callie in another one of my classes said, are we talking about the whole planet, or are we talking about some of us?
Some of us.
Yeah.
But what, like, obviously there's going to be a population drop-off soon, but, like, what percentage do you think?
Well, I don't know. It depends how long you're talking about. Like, I'm confident that resource issues won't extinguish our species. They'll just significantly curtail, and I imagine it someday, reorganize who makes it. You know what I mean by that? Like, first of all, we're going to lose a whole bunch of our fellow man, like we're doing now. I mean, y'all correct my data when you find your own numbers. Something like 20–30% of humanity doesn't have sufficient calories or food variety for a healthy diet. And something like 20% of humanity doesn't have access to clean drinking water today. So I think that if you consider that, there's some people who already lost. Right?
Yeah. But right, but in like first world countries, we're going to see a significant change in style of life.
I don't know, man. Like, we already got all the stuff, and we got all the guns, and we're going to build a wall, so yeehaw. Right? Like, I don't know, man. I'll bet you and me lose right near the end of the losing. I think we're going to last a whole lot longer than, like, my aunt and uncle who live in the wrong hemisphere. What else? We got these minutes. It's already on your mind. We could just talk real quick. Yeah?
So I'm just thinking about, like, say like a fruit tree, like an orange tree.
Yeah.
You can completely deplete that tree of its fruit, and it'll keep growing, right?
Yeah.
So that's different from fish, and wouldn't that kind of solve it?
Yeah, like maybe there's a couple fish down there that are going to make more fish someday. Yeah, and so that's another interesting thing, you know, like a lot of people would say that I'm willing to carry a gun and build a wall so that I can hold on to this long enough for all of you all to die off, so that in the long run we can just get a little reset on that population number, and then maybe we can last longer. That's what I'm saying, that this is not the end of humanity. But the resource question is not the ultimate end for the species. It's just a really touchy subject about how we really define the greed and how much we actually do need to share or don't. I gotta tell you, these fundamental questions about what your priorities are and like what you love and where you live, you can't do environmental science without that. I'm gonna try not to be like a bleeding heart liberal all up in your face so I'm doing your politics. That's not what I'm here for. But you do have to think about it if you're gonna think about environmental science. What else? I'm really curious. We don't get this time. I haven't asked any of my other classes today. You're the first one that can give me feedback, and nobody's talking. Yeah.
How long before you think we start running out of food?
Who?
The entire population.
Right now.
It won't be the entire population.
So then, some of, I mean, some of it's already happening.
Okay, you answered your own question. But no, I mean, that's like, you don't need to worry. I'm sure your mommy and daddy are trying really hard, and they're probably willing to do some pretty ugly stuff to take care of you.
I'm not worried about myself.
Oh, good, because I'm not either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other people.
That's also your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all you got to do is go around and count to find out how many. Like that's pretty easy. You don't trust her count, you can get her count, right? But like that data exists, you know. So I'm pretty sure that like if you count malnourishment with undernourishment, it's like 26%, 30% of humanity, depending on how you define malnourishment. What else? I'm really curious. Yeah.
How much of that is a product of failure of distribution rather than a product of production?
That's a really great question. We grow enough calories to feed almost double the world's population today. So that the net agricultural yield of the earth is basically population times 2, daily caloric minimum. So we could stop feeding it to the cows and change our diet. That would spread a lot of food around. We could stop the giant serving sizes. We could deliver food to people who don't get it in their own neighborhoods. The planet's calorie production capacity is really hard. Yeah.
But your calorie production capacity includes the meal that we're going to serve to our animals for consumption, correct?
Today, the net caloric yield of the earth is being shared by humans and the livestock, which in turn gives you a much smaller caloric output. If I have to raise this cow, it's going to eat 10 people's worth of food for every person the cow feeds. So I'm taking the food from 9 humans because I want to have steak instead. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no,
I knew that already. You got it. What else?
You're saying that one cow feeds one person?
No. I'm saying that you eat calories, but you don't store them perfectly because you burn most of them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you ate 2 pounds of burrito yesterday, you don't weigh 2 pounds more today. You spent most of those calories already. You understand that? So likewise, a cow needs to eat a lot of calories, but it's going to spend most of those, and then we're going to eat the calories that are left stored in that cow. It's about a 10-to-1 conversion factor. Actually, for cows, it's more like 5 to 1. Sorry, 1 to 1, it's a 5% conversion factor for cows.
Would the food that we feed to cows be like edible for most people?
It could be. Generally today we raise food to a lower quality if we know it'll go to cows. So today's cow diet is not fit for human consumption, but we could have made other decisions to make that food human consumable, yes. These are good thoughts. I'm enjoying these moments. Yes?
So
So kind of with that thought, would it be better to feed cows grass or to feed them like grains?
I promise we're going to have this conversation at another time, and I'm worried that the bell is going to ring. You could argue that it's better to feed cows grass because humans can't eat the grass. Someone else might argue you could skip both of those options, mow the grass, grow food that humans eat. So I don't know which is better. Do you understand what I'm saying? But there's a third option, and I think there's a fourth option that I didn't get into. Yeah.
So if there's a universal law for every couple that will would we be fine? Other than like global warming and that kind of thing.
Well,